The new Biome Refresher update finally dropped in 99 Nights in the Forest. The devs have completely updated the snow biome, giving it new structures, quests, items, and more importantly, it comes with 3 brand new badges to collect. That's why I wanted to see how fast we can actually complete all of these new challenges and get our hands on the new weapon. So hey everyone, it's me, Blaxie, and now let's get into the game. Before we even step foot into the game, we have to make an important choice at the character select screen. When I first planned this run, I was really thinking about choosing the Snowman class. The big benefit of the Snowman is that you get a cold-resistant beanie right at the start of the game. Having that immediately means you do not have to worry about the freezing temperatures, and you can pretty much run straight into the snow biome from the very first minute. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that crafting basic cold-resistant gear in this game is not actually that difficult if you know where to look. If we chose the Snowman, we would lose out on better combat abilities. So I decided to change my mind and go with the Witch class instead. The Witch gives us much better starting weapons and survival abilities, which is going to make fighting the new enemies a lot faster and easier, and we can just craft our cold gear along the way. When we spawn in on the first day, we have 2 main goals to focus on. We need to upgrade our map to at least level 4, and we need to find 3 rabbit feet. The rabbit feet are super important because we need them to trade with the pelt trader to get a larger inventory bag, and we also need them to craft our very first basic cold-resistant hat. As soon as I start moving, I begin looking around for rabbits. Sometimes finding rabbits and getting them to drop their feet can take a really long time, but we got incredibly lucky on this run. I only had to hunt down about 5 or 6 rabbits before we managed to collect all 3 rabbit feet. That saved us a ton of time right at the start. While hunting the rabbits, I also kept an eye out for coals, gas cans, and oil barrels leaves on the ground. We need these materials to fuel our campfire and upgrade our map. By running around the starting area and grabbing everything in sight, we managed to gather enough resources to upgrade our campfire and map all the way to level 4 right as the sun was starting to go down and the sky turned dark. With the map at level 4, I immediately craft our basic earmuffs. Now that we have some protection against the freezing temperatures, we can spend the night exploring the borders of the snowy area to see what the layout looks like. As the second day begins, our main focus shifts to upgrading our map to the maximum level and getting a high-quality axe. Having a good axe is really important for the snow biome because there are a lot of thick ice blocks blocking our way, and a weak tool will take forever to chop through them. First, I take the rabbit feet we gathered yesterday and head over to find the pelt trader. Trading the feet gives us the large bag upgrade, which lets us carry a lot more items at once. This is going to save us from having to make constantly annoying trips back to our base camp. With the extra inventory space, I start hunting wolves to get some wolf pelts, while also keeping an eye out for coal and wood to use as fuel. Finding wolves and getting a wolf pelt is actually pretty tough early on, and it takes almost half the day just to track down enough wolves and get a single pelt to drop. Fortunately, while I was running around searching for wolves, I also managed to collect enough fuel to upgrade our campfire and map to level 5, and we are already halfway to level 6. I spent the rest of the afternoon gathering the remaining coal and wood to finally push our campfire level up to 6. Once the base is fully upgraded, I decide to build a small cooking hut right next to our fire. Inside the hut, I set up some pots to automatically cook warm soup for us. This is a great setup because the soup will cook on its own while we are away, giving us a constant supply of food that restores our warmth and health when we are deep in the freezing areas. With our gear ready and our soup supply sorted out, we finally cross the border into the snow biome to look for the new structures. It does not take long before we spot a very tall stone watchtower with a large bell hanging from the roof. This watchtower is exactly what we need to complete the bell ringing badge later on. On the third day, we want to explore deeper into the freezing snow biome to find the other 2 main structures. The snow biome is quite large, so finding these places quickly depends a lot on taking the right paths. Luckily for us, the map layout is very generous today. Just a short walk away from the watchtower, we stumble upon a massive ice castle. This castle is where the boost pad recipe tablet is hidden, which we need for the Aerodynamics badge. Right next to the ice castle area, we also find the owl's nest. The owl's nest has a special trading spot where we can hand over owl feathers in exchange for rare items, including the brand new ice bow that we are trying to unlock. Since we are already standing near the ice castle, I noticed some owl feathers lying around on the ground. I pick them up and carry them over to the owl's nest to start the trade, but we do not have nearly enough feathers to get the bow yet. Still, finding these 3 key locations so close to each other on day 3 sets us up perfectly for the rest of the run. When the 4th day arrives, it is time to tackle the bell ringing badge at the tall watchtower we found earlier. When we arrive at the base of the tower, we see that the entrance is blocked by 2 cultist enemies who are frozen inside solid ice blocks. I pull out our axe and start chopping at the ice to free them so we can fight. Fighting these cultists in the deep snow is really tricky because the cold meter fills up incredibly fast. When your freeze bar gets full, your character cannot sprint and you move extremely slowly. If you are trying this yourself, I highly recommend bringing a good amount of that warm soup we made, or upgrading to better cold-resistant gear beforehand so you do not get slowed down as much. After a pretty tough battle, we defeat the 2 cultists at the door. Instead of staying on the ground, I quickly ran up the wooden stairs of the tower. Running up the stairs is a really helpful strategy because you can stand at the top and shoot down at any other cultists that try to follow you, or you can just run past them entirely if you want to save your weapon durability and ammo. When we reach the very top of the watchtower, there is a large cultist guardian standing right in front of the rope we need to pull to ring the bell. At this point, our freeze meter is completely full, which means our character is completely frozen and we cannot run or dodge anymore. To get around this dangerous situation, I climb up onto the wooden frame of the bell itself. From this high position, I start hitting the ice to break the guardian free. Because we are standing on top of the bell, the guardian's AI cannot actually target us or hit us, but we are still close enough to reach the bell rope. We easily pull the rope, the bell rings, and we officially complete the bell ringing badge. As an extra bonus, completing this tower area rewards us with 3 owl feathers. We need a total of 15 feathers to get our new weapon, so this is a great start to our collection. On the 5th day, we head over to the ice castle to get the recipe tablet and complete the Aerodynamics badge. The castle is packed with cultist enemies, and several of them are carrying crossbows. The crossbow cultists are a major problem because they can shoot us from far away while we are trying to dodge and deal with the freezing cold. To handle this safely, we focus on breaking the ice blocks of the crossbow cultists first so we can eliminate the ranged threats before doing anything else. Once the ranged enemies are gone, we go to the center of the room and break the main ice block, which releases all of the remaining melee cultists at the same time. To avoid getting surrounded and beaten up by the crowd, I quickly jump up onto one of the high stone ledges inside the castle. From this elevated platform, the melee cultists cannot reach us at all. We can just stand up there safely and use our ranged weapons to slowly chip away at their health one by one. It takes a little while to defeat all of them this way, but it is a very safe strategy that keeps us from losing health or wasting our healing items. When the 6th day begins, we are ready to finish the speed run. Early in the morning, we head back inside the cleared ice castle to harvest the remaining items. We pick up the boost pad recipe tablet, which officially completes the Aerodynamics badge for us, and we also find 3 more owl feathers lying around the castle floor. Now we just need to find the rest of the 15 feathers to get our new bow. I start searching the snowy areas around the frozen lake, and then I head inside a nearby bear cave. Luckily, there are plenty of feathers scattered on the ground in these spots. After a bit of searching and running around, we finally collected our 15th owl feather. We run back to the owl's nest as fast as we can, hand over all 15 feathers to the NPC, and successfully unlock the brand new ice bow. With that, we have managed to complete all 3 of the new badges and unlock the new weapon in just 6 days. Now that we have successfully finished the run, let's take a closer look at the rewards we got and see if they are actually worth the effort. First, let's talk about the new ice bow. This weapon has some very unique characteristics that make it stand out. To start, it has infinite ammo, which means you never have to spend time gathering materials to craft arrows ever again. Whenever you pull back the string and shoot, it fires a burst of 3 arrows in a small, tight spread. The reload time takes about 3 seconds, which might feel a little bit slow when you are in the middle of a chaotic fight with multiple enemies, but the damage output definitely makes up for it. If you manage to hit an enemy with all 3 arrows from the burst, the total damage can go over 125. This high damage means you can easily one-shot most of the common enemies in the game, like wolves, foxes, alpha wolves, and normal cultists, as long as you aim for the head. Even for the much tougher enemies like regular bears and polar bears, it only takes about 4 or 5 clean shots to take them down. On top of the high damage, any enemy that gets hit by the arrows will receive a freezing effect. This effect slows down their movement speed significantly, making it incredibly easy for you to run backward and keep your distance while shooting them. When you look at its strengths, the high damage, infinite ammo, and tight arrow spread make the ice bow feel like a much better version of the alien shotgun. At the moment, the only other weapon in the game that can really compete with the ice bow is the tactical shotgun. It would be really interesting to hear what you guys think about these 2 weapons, and which one you think is actually stronger for everyday use. But the ice bow does have one notable weakness. Even though it fires 3 arrows at once, it does not actually deal splash or area of effect damage. Each arrow only hits a single target. This means if you find yourself surrounded by a massive crowd of enemies inside a stronghold or in the locked caves level 2 and 4, using the ice bow is still going to take a bit of time, because you have to target and shoot each enemy individually, unlike weapons that can damage whole groups at once. Next, let's look at the upgraded boost pad that we unlocked from the Aerodynamics badge. The developers made some really nice changes to this item. The upgraded boost pad now gives players a speed boost effect whenever they leave the warm radius of their campfire. The best part is that you get this speed boost automatically, regardless of whether you actually step on and use the physical boost pad itself. Additionally, with this new upgrade, you no longer need to charge up the boost pad before you can use it. This makes moving around your home base much faster and more convenient, and it is just a really nice quality of life feature to have. That pretty much covers everything for our run through the new snow biome update. We managed to find the structures, complete all 3 of the new badges, and unlock both the upgraded boost pad and the powerful ice bow. Hopefully these strategies and tips will help you out when you go to explore the new snow biome yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.